This will help you to have that smooth transition from junior school to senior school. Right now, it's going to be a challenge because with this kind of setup, if you have to change career tracks from STEM to social sciences, it means that you will need to change even schools. So you'll need to wait for the year to end while you're still studying that track. Then you repeat grade 10 and change schools. Now you go now for social or STEM or whichever you had picked. So we really don't want to get to that point, and it's going to be very costly. You can see some of the parents that have done this assessment, the kind of insight they get about their children. I don't know if you have had an experience where you're given a task to do in your area of strength, where it's your field of genius, and you did it with a lot of energy, a lot of motivation, because that is where you're gifted in. Imagine if you can be able to tap into that kind of motivation when we are talking about studying and having our students really aligned in terms of their motivation and their natural strength. The other benefit is that it actually makes the connection between the teacher, parent, and student. And we know when we have the three legs, the stool can stand, yeah? Because the parents now get the insight into their child's strength and potential career paths. They can start planning. I had this conversation with another parent whereby once they realize that their kid is in this career track and that is what they want, and they see some of the courses or university courses the student will have to do maybe 4-5 years into the future, he started planning financially and say, this is what I need to put aside to be able to support my child to take up this career course. Welcome to today's presentation, where we will be talking everything to do with CBC career pathways, and we will dive straight into it. We are going to cover these three things. Number one, we're going to understand what is meant by this term learning styles, because our children, they do learn, and they learn in different ways. And we'll look at the three predominant learning styles. I will also share with you what are the possible career pathways in CBC. So we'll do a bit of some exploration in terms of what are the pathways and what can your child be able to do. And lastly, I'll talk about CBC aptitude assessment, which is a tool that is meant to help you make that decision, make an informed decision in terms of when your child is going to start the senior secondary school, which pathway to pick. For those of you who are seeing me for the very first time, or you've just heard about me, my name is Daniel Mutuku. I am the founder of Career Point Solutions back in 2010, 2011. I have also been blessed to be a teacher. I do teach in an international school. I'm also a career coach and a career counselor. I am also a certified digital marketer, and among other groups, I am a very proud member of the League of Young Professionals. So today, I want us to look at the learning styles. There are three predominant learning styles. That is visual, audio, and kinesthetic. What does this mean? This is how our children, and even us as adults, do learn. So the first one is visual, and you'll find that someone who is a visual learner, they will learn through seeing, observing information, and looking at images, diagrams, charts, and eyes. Visual part plays a very big part. If you demonstrate something and they see how it works, then that concept sticks in their head. Then we have what we call auditory learners. Auditory learners are people who will learn through listening and repeating information. So you will find that unless they hear it or someone repeats it over and over, they will not be able to understand. And I'll show you a quick demonstration shortly. And then we have what we call the kinesthetic learners. These are learners who will learn through actively participating or performing something that they're being taught. So they will want to see there's the physical movement of the body participating. If you're doing a demonstration they want to be doing that demonstration or an experiment. So there's the bit where they are moving, they are engaged, they are participating in that learning activity. And why is this important when we are thinking about the career path? As you will see, based on how you learn, you will find that you fall on in certain career paths, and I'll show you shortly. So let me take you to class for a minute. Some of you did physics, some of you did not do physics. I am a physics teacher, and today I want to teach you a bit of physics. But when I say physics, I know I will scare most of you. So let me say I am going to teach you science, yeah? And the concept for today's lesson is what we call balanced forces, yeah? Assuming you are my student, I come into class and I say, balance forces. Balance forces, this is when we have forces which are equal in size acting in opposite direction. Now, an object which is being acted upon by balanced forces will remain at rest or stay in motion at a constant speed. Now, just checking. How many of you, just by listening or hearing what I said, defining what are balanced forces, you got the concept? In a classroom, when I teach and I just read out and define balanced forces as being forces equal in size, acting in opposite direction, there's someone who will hear that and they will understand and they are good to go. That would be an auditory learner. But because I know my class is comprised of not only auditory learners, I'll go ahead and try and demonstrate what is this balanced forces. So I will draw on the board 2 arrows pointing in opposite direction and say if each arrow is representing a force of 4 newtons pushing to the right, 20 newtons pushing to the right, and another one pushing to the left. Since they are the same size, same magnitude of force, and they are all acting in opposite direction, then that is balanced forces. And some of the students will be like, now I get it. When you just gave us the definition, I didn't understand. Are we together, my students? You are my student today, yeah? I will still go ahead, not only draw arrows, I like also drawing some sketch. So I will draw an interesting, I use Stickman, I might not be, I can also show a demonstration like this. And I tell them, imagine we are in the field during sports day, and the last most exciting activity is usually tug of war. And we have 2 groups which are pulling in opposite direction, and they both are pulling at the same force. Now that, will the tug of war or that rope, will it move? No. So that means they are balanced forces. And some of them will look at this and they will say, now I understand this concept, right? Now, I still know that there are some who are kinesthetic. They will understand more when they participate. So what I'll do, I might tell them, let's do a simple one. If we have enough time or we had planned for it, we'll go to the field and we'll have a tug of war and we'll see when we have balanced forces. Or I'll just tell them, let's do some hand wrestling. Of course, this image does not show balanced forces, but as long as it is in the middle there, it is not moving, then it shows balanced forces. And when you have 2 or 3 students doing some arm wrestling and they almost nothing is moving, then they understand, that is what is meant by balanced forces. You get it? So those are the 3 main learning styles. So I want to know from you in the chat, yeah? Out of the 3 that I have mentioned, which one would you say you understood better? Was it A? You can put in the comments, so to make it simple. A, for auditory learner, you just had, or V, for the visual learner, you just looked at the diagrams and you understood, or you would want to go to this point where you want to do some arm wrestling to show that one force is going in this direction and the other one, and it was balanced. Which kind of learner are you? Or Philip, you're saying you're C, so you will go for the kinesthetic. You want to try and do the balancing. Okay, good. Then we have Elena says she's a visual learner. I can see Corastor, you're saying visual. You saw the diagrams and you understood the concept. Good. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Yeah. I think you're both auditory and kinesthetic. Yes, you can actually be both. You can have two or even three, but one will be predominant or two might be predominant. Good to see. Good to see. I have good students in my class. Generally, when we talk about these different learning styles, it also means as a teacher, they will need to know the different ways they would want to engage their students in class. Also, you as a parent, you will also need to engage and support your children differently. Yeah. I know when I was growing up, unless you are holding a book, that's the only sign that you are reading. But now we know children might be on a tablet watching a certain educational video on YouTube and they are learning. It's not that they are wasting time. There are some who will be in a certain app where they are combining things and attaching things and letting it play out. And then they will be like, now I understand. Like there's an app called, I think, Little Alchemy, where they will combine different things and it pops up something, some explosion. Those will find that those who engage in that, they are mainly the kinesthetic learners. So you'll find visual will lead graphs, illustration, PowerPoints, pictures, videos, articles, and stuff. Then we have the auditory learners. They really engage a lot in one-on-one conversations. They will be in group discussions. So you might find a group of students discussing something, and there's someone who will get the most due to that discussion rather than them just sitting down and reading the book. So they also videos, podcasts, and audio recordings will work very well. Those who are kinesthetic, on the other hand, they will be working. Yeah, they will want to do some role playing. They can't sometimes even sit down. They want to come and see, what are you doing? Can I do it? Can I touch it? Can I move it? Depending with a different subject. And sometimes you might see that your child cannot sometimes sit down still. They are thinking while they are walking around or they are tapping their feet. Don't say they're being disruptive or they can't settle down. Probably that is their different learning style. Is that okay? That is more about learning styles, and I'll show you how it is connected now to the career path. Let's take a moment and discuss this concept of career paths. As we know, once our students are through with the junior secondary, which the first group is going to finish next year, they are going to be in grade 9. And when they finish grade 9, they go to senior school. When they go to senior school, they will have to decide on the career path that they will want to pick. According to the ministry, they have given us art and sports science, there is social sciences, and there is STEM. These are the three main career tracks. We'll take time just to give you the different options that are in these career tracks. So you find that if you decide, for example, to go for STEM, STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Inside the STEM career path or pathway, there are three categories. Actually, there are four. So a student might decide to go to pure sciences. They might decide to go to applied sciences. There are there's the engineering category, and then we have technology studies. These pathways will lead to different careers. It doesn't mean that once they are in STEM that they will just do one specific thing. There are different career pathways still in STEM. For example, if they go for pure sciences, they can end up being a science researcher, a mathematician, physicist, chemist, biologist, environmentalist, healthcare, and all that. If you go for applied sciences, they might end up in agriculture as an agricultural scientist, actuarial science, there's computer engineering, food scientist, marine and fisheries technologist, electrical technologist, and all that. Then engineering, we also have electrical. There is being a geologist, civil engineer, architect, electrical, mechanical engineering, survey. All that are under the engineering subtract. And then career and technology studies, they might be software developers, web developers, data analysts, so user experience designer, database administrator, computer systems engineers, and stuff. So I'll give you a list of all these kind of roles that they will be taking. Now, the other track that we have is social sciences. And under social sciences, there are again three paths that a student might pick. One is languages, and we have humanities, and then we have business studies. Under these different career tracks, they will also go into different careers if they want to pick. And just to mention but a few, languages, they might be translators, writers, editors, copywriters, salespeople, researchers, paralegal, legal assistant, mediators, all that. Humanities, they might end up in history as a historian, archaeologist, philosophist, anthropologist, there's legal assistant, there's mediator, urban planner, transport planner, there's even law, I think it is there. Business studies, they might be entrepreneurs, accountant, financial analyst, business managers, marketing, financial planners, and statistician, economist, and stuff. Or they can decide to go to the other career path, which is sports science, which is divided again into three: sports science, visual arts, and we have performing arts. Under sports science, the possible careers might be a sports coach, a therapist, sports nutritionist, fitness, personal trainer, gym attendant. In the visual arts, they might be an illustrator, graphic designer, painter, sculptor, painter, art director. If you go to performing arts, they might be acting, musician, dancers, theater director, choreographer, musical performance, and stuff. So there are different options that the students might decide to take. You might be there and you might be feeling, wow, this is a lot. How do I wrap my head all around this? As a parent who is having a child either in year 7 or grade 7 or grade 8, this is something that you need to start thinking about. And because we know it can be complex, or it might feel like it is too early to be able to have my child decide right now, that is why I want to introduce to you what I call the CBC aptitude assessment. Now, having taught in international schools, I have seen one of the advantage is that there are international assessments that they can be able to do that will predict and give some guidance in terms of if this student was to do this and this subject, this is what they are most likely to score, and this is probably their career path. There is none. I look for one that is local, and there is none. And here at Career Point Solutions, we were able to bring in the first local CBC aptitude assessment. And that is what I want to introduce to you. So the CBC aptitude assessment is an assessment that is done online, and it is specifically designed for students who are between the age of 11 and 14. That is grade 7, 8, and 9. Now, what happens is you will do this simple assessment online, and it will evaluate what are your learning styles and what are the potential career paths that you have that you can decide to pick. This is going to make it so easy for you as a parent to have that discussion with your child, because I know at this point they want to be everything. They want to be a pilot. Tomorrow they will be a doctor. The next day they want to be an engineer and all that. And there's nothing wrong with them changing, but we need now to start narrowing down and help them make that decision. Now, this assessment will only take about 10 to 15 minutes. Immediately you finish the assessment, you will be able to instantly download a report, and that will be followed by a one-on-one coaching call between me, you, and the child, so that we can be able to discuss what is this report saying about you? What can you be able to do? How can we interpret it? Now, I have seen it working two ways. Number one, it will confirm to you that, yes, this is the right track for my child. And for some, it will be like, I wanted to pursue this. I am ranking very low in terms of the score that I've gotten from the assessment. Then I need to put it a little bit more effort now to get to where I'm supposed to be? Or is that confirmation, I like that, but even my performance is not reflecting that? These are good. This is the kind of results that you will get. So this is a sample assessment for a student, and you can see it says John is primarily a kinesthetic learner. So you can see out of the scores, kinesthetic is scoring 83%. That means if the student was just to absorb information, if it was presented in a kinesthetic way, then they will be able to get 83% of the information. 66 auditory learner and visual learner 54. So it does not mean that they can't learn from other styles, but the predominant for this specific student was kinesthetic learner. And you can see actually, even when you look at some of the comments here, Arnold said he was an audio and visual. So it does not mean he can't learn kinesthetically, but that applies. I saw someone also saying two of them. I think I'm both audio and kinesthetic. This is from Juja St. Peter's School. Okay, thank you very much. So as much as we rated ourselves, and of course we would want to say which one we mostly prefer, getting this information and knowing at what level we are at, especially for our student. As grown up, we already know, probably because we know what works for us. But for them, they're still experimenting. It's good for them to know. And then it will give a score in terms of the career pathways. And this is specific to the CBC. So it will say chances of this person aligning with arts and sports science is 92. Social sciences, it is 76. And STEM, it is 72. And as long as, for me, the score is above 60, it still means they still have some interest in that area and they can still thrive in that area. On top of just getting you the scores, there is a report. The report will contain recommendations for both the teacher and the parent on what they need to do to support the child. So you might take it, and then as a parent, you thought my work is just to pay the fees. Once I've paid the fees, the teachers do your thing, give me a student. But there are certain things you can do, like we discussed with some parents in the course of last week, whereby based on if a student is more of a kinesthetic, what can they do at home to create an environment that they will thrive? You take the same report to the teacher, and the teacher knows, this one is more of the audio. So if I say or I do something that they don't understand, I will need to repeat it in a different way. Or this person is more of the kinesthetic, can I bring them to demonstrate something? Or this one is more of the visual person, so I'll make sure that my lesson is well planned with diagrams, with charts, and something of that sort. So it's going to have this recommendation for that specific child, and then it will give you, based on your results, what are the careers that you can pick, and also some university courses. And here we're just talking about in general, what are some of the university courses that you can be able to pick. The good thing is that this kind of assessment is going to benefit first the student, because it will boost the student's confidence and motivate. They will feel more motivation because they will find the alignment of their education and their natural strengths. I don't know if you have had an experience where you're given a task to do in your area of strength, where it's your field of genius, and you did it with a lot of energy, a lot of motivation, because that is where you're gifted in. Imagine if we can be able to tap into that kind of motivation when we are talking about studying and having our students really aligned in terms of their motivation and their natural strengths. The other thing is that there is that personalized learning plan tailored to their learning style. So if a child knows that this is what I benefit more from, and the teacher is aware, and you as a parent, you're aware, you can be able to personalize the learning for that student. And then having this early career guidance to help at least set some realistic and achievable goals. We know the younger they are, or if we wait and to a point where they're in grade 9, they now have to pick a career path and they're still not settled in, it is not good. So the earlier we have this conversation, the better. So that is what this report gives you. Other benefit is that it actually makes the connection between the teacher, parent, and student. And we know when we have the three legs, the stool can stand, yeah? Because the parents now get the insight into their child's strengths and potential career paths. They can start planning. I had this conversation with another parent whereby once they realize that their kid is in this career track and that is what they want, and they see some of the courses or university courses the student will have to do maybe 4-5 years into the future, he started planning financially and say, this is what I need to put aside to be able to support my child to take up this career course. So there's that benefit of you as a parent being aware and having some insights in terms of where your child is heading to. The other thing is the teachers now can tailor instruction method to suit individual learning styles. And that collaboration between now the child, the parent, and the teacher is a winning combination. Collaborative approach to supporting your children's education journey. We know we can't let one go. We can't say it is fully the responsibility of the child to read, to learn, and to pass. We can't say it's the full responsibility of the teacher to teach and make sure the student passes. And we can't say it is the parent fully responsibility. We need to collaborate on this. These are just some insights or testimonials from parents who have taken their children through this assessment. So you can see Lisa Kipkoril saying, the insights from the assessment were incredibly accurate. My daughter feels more confident and motivated to pursue her interest. The career coaching session was invaluable. We have another one here, Sophia, a parent, saying, as a parent, I always struggled with how best to support my child. The expert guidance provided was tailored to our needs and has made a significant difference in our approach to our child's education. I highly recommend this assessment to all parents. Another one here, a teacher now saying, this assessment was a great game changer for my students. I can now tailor my teaching to each child's need, making learning more engaging and effective. So you can see it has an all-around kind of impact. So if today you decide to join and say, I want to sign up my kid to do this assessment, what are you going to get? Number one, we're going to have an orientation introduction to this tool. Then they will have to do the assessment online, which takes about 10-15 minutes. It doesn't take long. They don't need to revise for this assessment. They just need to answer, I agree. They just read a statement, say, I agree, disagree, or neutral. And I'll demonstrate here. Then they will get an individualized report. And also after that, we will have a coaching session, a one-on-one career consultation session between me, the parent, and the child. And we also do it in a group. If we have a group of people paying today and starting off, we might have a session tomorrow, Saturday, and Monday, where we discuss as a group. So how much is it going to cost you? It's only $2,999. And you can go ahead and make the payment right now through Lipa 9Pesa. The till number is 715732. What are you going to get? The orientation session, the assessment, the personalized report, and the career counseling session. Personally, when I do my own career coaching session, I would charge about $10,000 for an hour, between $6,000 to $10,000 per hour. Here, I am giving you an opportunity to take advantage because we're also doing it as a group. For that fee of only $2,999, start putting your child in the right direction. Why should you take this assessment? I want to go a bit more, not very technical, but just to confirm to you, if you're there and maybe you're not so sure, why are we doing this assessment? I want to give you the educational and research behind this. Now, our CBC assessment is designed to evaluate students' learning styles and career pathways accurately. This aligns with Bloom's taxonomy, which emphasizes the importance of assessing our cognitive skills from the very basic knowledge to higher level of thinking skills. Check the study done by Bloom in 1956. Those who are academicians, if you are a teacher, probably you have heard about that in your training. The other thing I would also want to say is that the assessment is supported by Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence. Gardner, what he said is that individuals have different intelligences, including linguistic, logical and mathematical, spatial, and more. Now, our assessment is designed to capture these diverse intelligence by providing a comprehensive profile for each student strength. So there's some research that has been done behind this assessment. As simple as it will look, there's a lot that has been done. This will help you to have that smooth transition from junior school to senior school. Now, remember, we have different tracks, and I don't know if you chose subject like I did when I was in school. You would pick subject probably based on where your friends are going. Oh, we are doing geography, we all go for geography. Oh, my friends are doing CRE, we go for. I hear social studies is simple, so we went for whatever it is. And then maybe 2-3 months into the subject, we feel like history is not for me. So you just change from history, you go to geography or whichever humanities was being offered. Right now, it's going to be a challenge because with this kind of setup, if you have to change career tracks from STEM to social sciences, at this point, it means that you will need to change even schools. So you'll need to wait for the year to end while you're still studying that track. Then you repeat grade 10 and change schools. Now you go now for social or STEM or whichever you had picked. So we really don't want to get to that point, and it's going to be very costly. So that simple investment of 2,999 was going to give you the right direction. And you can see some of the parents that have done this assessment, the kind of insight they get about their children. You can't take it's going to be to save them a lot in future. So I want you to take advantage of it. I have the till number here. If you pay right now, I'll be able to set it up. We'll talk to you. You can do it tomorrow. You can leave your child to do it in the course of the day tomorrow. And yes, we can schedule our coaching conversation. If you have any questions, feel free to drop that in the chat. But you can go to Lipa na M-Pesa, buy goods and services. The till number is 715732. Question here. How will the teacher tailor make the learning to specific students, taking in consideration the many students per class and the different learning methods? I think, Kush, what I've done, I have just demonstrated to you, if you're here when we were doing our science lesson about balance forces, a simple concept, whereby I was able to teach that simple concept with all the three styles. Unlike how I grew up or how I went to school, it was more of the lecture. The teacher would stand there, he would read, you would record the notes, and to him, he has covered the syllabus. But you can see with a simple twist, having an image or a chart to demonstrate, or creating that 2-3 minutes where people can be able to maybe even try it out, can give the student a much bigger opportunity to be able to absorb it. And that is why actually this program, the course itself is called competency based. That's why the students are doing a lot of projects. So it is still possible to hit all the three learning styles in the same classroom, even if you have 50 students, right? The other thing I also want to mention, as I want to demonstrate shortly, is the cognitive development. Why is it that our children need to make this decision now? Now, during adolescence, there is a significant cognitive development that occurs. And this kind of development enhances abstract thinking, problem solving, and decision making. And you will find that according to Piaget theory of cognitive development, adolescents enter this formal operational stage at age 12, where they develop the ability to think logically and hypothetically. This cognitive maturation enables them to make more informed and rational decisions in their future. If you look at how the cognitive development takes place, they will start at this sensory motor stage and at age 12, where most of the students in grade 7, 8, 12 years of age, they are now in that formal operational in terms of their cognitive development. Now, if you look at it in terms of a graph, you can see this age when the cognitive capacity is building up between 0 and 24. Right here at the middle, if nothing is done, like this kind of really engaging them to make the decision, you will see from this dotted line, it might start going down. And we are optimal at around age 24 to about 65. Then as we go older, of course, our cognitive capability keep dropping. I don't want to ask you what age you are and where you are at in the terms of this cognitive capacity, but can we help our children make the most, where we can be able to optimize the growth and development as they make that decision. Take action right away. That is the till number 715732. Get the orientation, get the assessment, get the report and the counseling session right now. I think, yes, I'm open to questions. The counseling session also online? Yes, we do the session online for convenience, because I know we have even some people who are not in Nairobi town. I have done, I think, with some people in Mombasa. There's someone in Taveta. Yeah, we'll do it online. So we have that conversation. I can see, this is very insightful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me demonstrate how this assessment looks like. Once you have registered, I'll put in the details of your child. You will get a passcode. And with the passcode, you'll just come and put it in here. So in my case, the passcode here is just 123. So I say submit. And what happens, it will pull out now my name, my school, and it will ask me, are you ready to start the assessment? You just say yes, and then continue. So this is how the questions are designed. I remember things better when I hear them. So the child will either say agree, neutral, or disagree. Let's say I'm neutral about that. I like doing activities in class like experiment. Now, this first section, it is testing their learning style. So they might say, yeah, I agree, I like doing assessment. Then there's the next section, which tests their interests. So it will ask, I enjoy drawing or painting in my free time. Then they'll say agree, disagree, or let me say I disagree. Then I like playing sports team, sports like soccer, football, and all that, basketball. I can say agree. Then it will ask, now it goes to skills. Now this is just a sample. These are only 8 questions, but the real assessment has 51 questions. Yeah, I am going to understand. I am good at understanding, explaining things to my friend. Yeah, I like explaining. I would say I would agree. This is now skills. I can easily remember facts and details about a subject I'm interested in. I would say yes. Then we go to preferences. They will ask, I prefer doing activities that involve a lot of movement and physical activities. Let me say I'm neutral about that. I like to work on project by myself rather than in a group. I'll say, yeah, I like being in a project. Yeah, I by myself. No, I disagree, because I like being in a group. Then once I do through, I say submit. Voila, the assessment is over. And this is a just demo. You can't download the report, but like that, you download, you get your report, and we now have our discussion. Take advantage of this assessment because it's going to be a game changer. You see, when I was learning, it was quite, I thought the teachers knew what they were doing, but also I appreciate probably all these technologies were not there. But as a teacher, I will try to vary my teaching style. But now when I'm doing one-on-one conversation, when student A raises their hand and they come and tell me, sir, I haven't understood, what did you mean by this and this? Then knowing that they will understand better if I demonstrate it or if I explain it in different words because they're auditory learners, then I'm able to serve them even better. So there's that bit. You as a teacher, you would want to give the best, but as a parent, because we said it's a circle, you can also do some stuff. I talked to a parent in the course of this week, and they said the child was not sure if they want to be a lawyer or they want to be a surgeon, but the report came with social sciences scoring higher and STEM the bottom one. But then what they ended up doing, she agreed, I'll go for law. But because also she's can I say, she was kinesthetic learner or visual learner, she would want to see things. Then some of the suggestion is that she can have charts, she can have those coloring books or some big demonstration. And I think we even organized for her to get something like, if she's doing science, there's the globe, just having the globe or having the chart. Is it called the atlas or the map, the big map? And those are things you as a parent, you're just doing as fun, or you're buying as toys, but you are really enhancing the learning. There's some recommendation that you might be, this is more of a kinesthetic or a visual learner. Take trips to the museum, take trips to the zoo, and that is where you think you're going for a trip to have fun, but the child is actually learning because the intellectual capability is actually being engaged.